How's it going, guys? Edgar here with YugiKnights of the Round, and today I am bringing you my Buster Blader deck profile. And this is kind of a beta test, so to say. It's because I'm not finished making this deck, and I'm bringing you guys my deck profile now because hopefully maybe I can get your guys' feedback on this, and maybe we can come together and make like a better Buster Blader deck, because I think this deck has a lot of potential. And if for those who don't know, these two monsters right here, they're insanely powerful. Buster Dragon, his effect is that if he's on the field, all the monsters your opponent control become dragon. And that helps Buster Blader. We all know that. Buster Blader gains 500 attack for every dragon your opponent controls. But the one that super gets a buff from it is Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, the fusion. He's insane. I'm gonna go ahead and read the effect for you. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card cannot attack directly. This card gains 1,000 attack and defense for each dragon type monster your opponent controls, or it's in their graveyard. Change all dragon type monsters your opponent controls to defense position. Also, dragon type monsters in your opponent's possession cannot activate their effects. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Buster Blader makes them all dragons. He negates their effects, puts them in defense position. He gains 1,000 attack for each one, and he does piercing. That's insane. It's an amazing board lock. The only drawback is getting these two on the field, because thanks to links, you only have one extra monster zone, and these guys come from your extra deck. So it's hard to get both of them onto the field because Buster Blader doesn't have like any genuine link support. You have to use kind of like generic ones, and that's what I have in this deck so far. And maybe you guys have like better ideas. But if you could go ahead and leave those in the comments section, I'll definitely read them to see if we can improve this deck. Because right now, I feel like this deck, we can make it into a second tier deck. Not first tier, it's not that fast, but second tier. I feel second tier if we can get this board lock. But let me go ahead and get into the deck profile. Let me show you what I have so far, okay? So obviously, right off the bat, we're gonna go ahead and run 3 Buster Bladers, because you need them for the fusion. And if you have Buster Dragon on the field, your opponent's monsters become dragons, and he gains that 500 attack boost. But 3 Buster Bladers isn't enough. We're gonna run 4. Yes, I said 4. I know the limit's only 3, but he's technically not a Buster Blader, but he is. Buster Blader, the Destruction Sword Master. This card name becomes Buster Blader while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If a monster your opponent controls is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of those destroyed monsters equipped to this card. Once per turn, you can send one monster card you control that is equipped to this card to the graveyard. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls the same type as a monster sent to the graveyard. So that's pretty neat. He counts as another Buster Blader, so you have a faster chance of getting to your Buster Bladers because now you're running 4. And his destruction effect, where you can like equip a destroyed monster. So if they have a spellcaster, you equip it to him, then you send the spellcaster to the graveyard, and then all spellcaster monsters your opponent controls get destroyed. Pretty cool. Next is your Searcher and your main tuner, and that's Buster Whoop, the Destruction Swordsman. He's a level 1 light tuner. Remember that, that's pretty important. And his effect is, when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Destruction Sword card from your deck to your hand, except for Buster Whelp. You can only use the effect, one of the following effects of Buster Whelp per turn, and only once that turn. You contribute this card, special summon 1 Buster Blader from your hand or graveyard. If this card's in your graveyard and you control Buster Blader, you can discard 1 Destruction Sword card and special summon this card. So he's your Searcher, lets you bring a Destruction Sword. It's pretty awesome because the majority of your support cards are Destruction Sword. And most important one, the one you're always going to search for, it's going to be the Fusion, which is Destruction Sword Fusion. You're always going to search for this one. So that's the tuner. The other tuner you have is Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. He's also a level 1 tuner, but he's dark. And his effect is you can target 1 Buster Blader you control, equip this monster from your hand or your side of the field to that target. While this card is equipped to a monster, your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. So bam! If you have a Buster Blader on the field, you equip them with this, and your opponent's locked out of their extra deck. That's awesome. They can't go into anything if they can't use it. And a lot of people use their extra deck as a way to out other things. They kind of use it like a toolbox, you know? Just whatever is convenient at the time, but if you lock them out of that toolbox, they can't get to you. So I love this effect. Next is Sage with Eyes of Blue. I've seen this in other people's deck profiles, and I really like it. But like I said, those deck profiles that I watched, they're before links, so their combos, I can't really rely on them. But this combo I decided to keep because it's really neat, because Sage searches your main Searcher. Sounded weird now that I said that out loud. But you normal summon Sage, he lets you search for a level 1 light tuner, bam, Buster Whelp. So you normal summon him, bring this guy to your hand. So next turn you can summon him. But that's kind of sucks because he's on the field and he's 0 attack, so your opponent can attack you directly practically. So usually you want to go ahead and synchro. You want to make sure to have a Buster Blader or something on the field so you can synchro for a level 8. You can go to your Buster Dragon. So this guy isn't dead on the field. And we do run 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon. We do, like I said, we just run 1 of them because you can use the discard effect. You can pick an effect monster, discard him from your hand, and you get special summon a Blue Eyes. So a 3000 attack beater is pretty good. And then Effect Veiler, because Sage can also search Effect Veiler, and it's kind of nice to disrupt your opponent's monster effect. Robot Buster Dragon, we're going to run 1 of those. He's pretty cool in my opinion. You can target 1 Buster Blader you control, equip this monster from your hand or your side of the field to that target while this card is equipped to a monster. Spell and trap cards that are already face up on your opponent's side of the field cannot activate their effects. You can send this equipped card to the graveyard, and the monster that was equipped with this card gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. So if your opponent's running a field spell card like Magical Meltdown or Dionic Diagram, bam, activate this. They can't use it anymore because it's a face-up spell card. It's not. It doesn't say continuous spell card or continuous trap card. It just says face up at the time of this card gets equipped. So you can lock them out of that. It's pretty awesome. And like I said, there is no link support for these guys. There isn't. There is no Buster Blader links. So we have to use generic effects or generic ways to get into links. And the best one, in my opinion, for this deck is Scapegoat. I used to run GoFu, but GoFu got banned, so I gotta rely on Scapegoat. And if those who don't know, the Scapegoat engine, I guess you can call it that, is that you summon Scapegoat, it lets you bring 4 tokens, you can't tribute them, and you can't summon anything else the turn that you activate Scapegoat. But it's a quick spell card, so you can put it face down, and then at the end of your opponent's turn, activate it, bring out your tokens, and then on your turn, you can sacrifice them. I guess you can't tribute them, but what you do with them is that you're going to go ahead and go into links. You're going to tribute 2 of them because they're Earth. You can tribute 2 of them to summon a Mrs. Radiant because Mrs. Radiant needs 2 Earth monsters. So bam, now you have 2 extra monster zones. And then you can tribute the other 2 for a Proxy Dragon because he only needs 2 monsters. And right there, we have 3 link zones. We have the one from here and the left or right of Proxy Dragon. So boom, that's 3 extra monster zone. That's more than enough for these guys. So that works out. So that's why I run Scapegoat. We run 3 of them because it's one of the faster ways to get into that extra monster zones. Next is our draw engines. We run 3 cards of consonants because we have 6 level 1 dragon tuners, so it works out. And then this draw engine, a lot of people don't like it, but I don't know, it's helped me out a lot. And it's Pot of Desires. I know banishing 10 sucks. It super sucks. You're losing 1/4 of your deck. But how many times have you gone into a duel and like decked out? Like that rarely ever happens to me. So losing 10 cards to draw 2, it's kind of worth the price. And especially with this deck, because there's a lot of searching with this deck. There's a lot of searching, so you can sculpt your hand before you use Pot of Desires. Now I will admit, opening with Pot of Desires does suck. You draw your first 5 cards and you have a Pot of Desires. I don't recommend using it then, but it's not dead in your hand because what you can do, you can discard it because there's a lot of cards in this deck that require a discard, and that's what you can do with that. So one of the cards is Destruction Sword Fusion. Now this card's kind of like the super poly of the deck. You can fusion summon 1 fusion monster that lists Buster Blader as a material from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or either side of the field as fusion material. So again, Buster Dragon's on the field, your opponent's monsters are dragons, you got a Buster Blader in your hand, you got a Buster Blader on the field, activate it, bam, take one of their monsters, and then bring out your fusion. It's insane. It's an insane card. If this card's in your graveyard, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and add this card to your hand. You can only use the effect of each Destruction Swordsman fusion once per turn. So again, you can discard a card. So I said you have a dead Pot of Desires in your hand, discard it, bring this guy back to your hand. I only run 2 because, like I said, it's recyclable. You don't really need to run 3. Mausoleum of the White. I just really have this card in here for Buster Whelp and for that small attack boost because, like I said, we do run 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon, and this gives you an additional normal summon if you normal summon a level 1 light tuner. So if I summon my Whelp, I could still have another normal summon. Next is Emblem. of the Dragon Destroyer, it searches your Buster Blader. Just gets the Buster Blader to your hand a lot faster. Soul Charge, you know, revival. Monster Reborn, another revival card. 1 for 1, we are running 9 level 1 monsters, so 1 for 1 helps out. Regeki, just an all-around powerful card. Okay, onto the traps. 3 Destruction Sword of Memories. This is a trap card fusion. This card's effect is discard 1 Destruction Sword card, special summon 1 Buster Blader monster from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon 1 Buster Blader Dragon Destroyer Swordsman from your extra deck by banishing the fusion materials listed on the graveyard. So you activate it, discard a card, bam, go ahead and summon yourself a Buster Blader from your deck. That's really powerful. And then later you can banish this in like a dragon and then bring out the fusion. Pretty simple. Next is 2 prologues of the Dragon Destruction Swordsman. Okay, so how Swords of Memories brings out the fusion, prologue brings out the synchro. Send 1 Destruction Sword card and 1 Buster Blader monster from your deck to the graveyard, except for prologue, and special summon 1 Buster Dragon from your extra deck or graveyard, but destroy it during the end phase of the next turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, Destruction Sword cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. You can only activate prologue Destruction Swordsman per turn. So again, the second effect, the cycle effect, that's protection. But what you could do, what I like to do, you need to throw away a Buster Blader and a Destruction card. So you activate this, you throw away a Buster Blader from your deck, and you go ahead and throw that away in your deck. Because you're going to have dragons in your graveyard, and then you can banish these, and then summon this guy. Bam. And then you get the Buster Dragon, and the next turn he dies. That's why we have Revival, to bring him back so he can be not in the extra monster zone, but in the normal monster zone. So that's why we got some Revival cards. I was thinking of running Return of the Dragon Lords, because Return of the Dragon Lords lets you bring back a level 8 dragon type monster. Bam, he's level 8, he's a dragon, and you can revive him. The only problem is, like, he's the only one that fits the bill, so I feel like those Return of Dragon Lords would be kind of dead in my hands any other time. Moving on, 1 Quaking Mirror Force, just a good trap card. Makes your opponent's monsters face down. Your fusion can trample over them, so it's pretty good. And then, in my opinion, the best card that I've added to this deck that's made it a lot better and a lot faster, and it's DNA Surgery. In case you do not know, DNA Surgery activates this card by declaring 1 monster type. All face-up monsters in the field become that type. Activate this, call dragons, all monsters are dragons. He only affects your opponent's monsters. So he doesn't negate your own dragons, he only negates their dragons. It's fantastic. This is a lot faster. This is a lot faster than jumping through all those hurdles to summon this guy. But again, they can easily Twin Twister this or destroy your back row. So that's why we still run Buster Dragon. He's pretty much the backup. And this is what I really want to go for all the time. So because it's easy to summon this guy, and then getting these on there, and then bam, you got it. It's simple. Okay, so that's the main deck, 40 card deck. Let me go ahead and show you guys the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we run 3 of the fusion, because he cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. So that's why we run 3. In case he gets destroyed, bring out another one. That's why we do it. I already read you his effect. And then we're gonna run 3 Buster Dragons, because there's a lot of times you summon him from the deck and he gets sent to the graveyard because of prologue. And I didn't read you guys the entire effect. So the entire effect of Buster Dragon is all monsters your opponent controls become dragon type. Once per turn, if you do not control a Buster Blader monster, you can target 1 Buster Blader in your graveyard, special summon it. Once per turn to your opponent's turn, you can target 1 Buster Blader monster you control, equip it with 1 Destruction Sword monster from your graveyard. This is a quick effect. So bam, you summon him. If you have a Buster Blader already on your field, you can pick one of your Destruction Swordsmen. So you can bring out like Robot, the one that negates spell cards, or Dragon Buster, the one that locks him out of the extra deck. Bam, equip it to him. That's fantastic, right? 1 Scarlet Red, he's a level 8 synchro, board wipe, you know, pretty powerful. Number 11 Big Eye, he's a rank 7, you know, Buster Bladers are 7, so it works out. Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon at rank 7, does burn damage, pretty powerful. And then number 42 Galaxy Tomahawk, he's rank 7, and he's another way for us to link summon. So for those who don't know, So what you're gonna do, you're gonna get your 2 Buster Bladers, and then you're gonna overlay and summon this guy. You're gonna detach and activate his effect, where you can summon tokens. And you're gonna go ahead and summon 4. You can summon 4 tokens. No, 3. My mistake. You're gonna summon 3 tokens because you can summon as much as you want, and it's kind of like the same thing as the scapegoat. So you summon this and 3 tokens. You tribute 2 of those tokens. 1 token, including the tomahawk, and you go to Quiff Genius because he needs 2 machines. And then you spend the other 2 on a proxy dragon, and then bam, 1, 2, 3. You have 3 monster zones again. Isn't that crazy? So that's what you do. So, and again, for the links, we're gonna run 1 Quiff Genius, 2 proxy dragons, and 2 Mrs. Radiance. So these are all the link monsters that we run. So that's a 15 card extra deck. Now going to the side deck, I don't really know what else to run here. I don't have the money to buy Ash Blossoms and all those guys, so this is the best that I can do. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. I run Dorgon, the Mad Flame Kaiju. Just attributes, it's a hand trap, and he has the weakest defense. That's why I picked him. He has 1200 defense. So if you tribute one of their monsters for this kaiju, he goes in defense mode, then you trample over that. Glow Up Bulb, just an extra tuner. You can mill a card from your deck to the graveyard, and then you can use them for another tuner. Emblem, if you want to try to get to those Buster Bladers a lot faster. Forbidden Lance for some protection. Twin Twister for back row removal. Fiendish Chain, just if you got a monster effect that's bothering you. Dark Bribe, some card effects that are bothering you. Lost Twin, special summons that bother you. Again, bottomless, just more traps, and then another Quaking if they're doing a lot of attacking. Not the best side deck, but it's better than nothing. But yeah, that is my Buster Blader deck profile. Again, it's like beta phase. Your feedback would be great. I've used this deck on YGO Pro, and then when it works, it works. It works fantastic. But when it bricks pretty hard, because there are going to be some times you're going to draw 4 Buster Bladers. No, I'm kidding. The worst is when I drew 3 of them. I drew 3 Buster Bladers. I drew 2 Buster Bladers, and then this guy, and I was just like, well, darn. What am I supposed to do here? But again, go ahead and leave a comment with your guys' feedback. I'll appreciate it. If you guys just think this deck's trash, let me know too. I'm just wasting resources here. If you think this deck has 0 potential, let me know. I'll get rid of it. I'll invest my money in something else. But again, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Oh my gosh, this is like my 4th time recording this. I need to buy name brand batteries. Like if you get off-brand batteries for this camera, it doesn't tell you how much battery life there's left, and so it will just die randomly, and then the video file is corrupted. So like the last 4 takes, I was using off-brand batteries and they all died on me. So luckily, I don't know, it gave me enough time to charge my name brand battery, and this one does give me a life bar, so hopefully now I can do this right. Oh my gosh, I spent like an hour doing this. Okay.